Good afternoon, Titans. Today is Friday, May 4th, and you're watching Cen10 News. I'm Micah Creighton.
And I'm Patrick Moynihan.
As graduation approaches, many are concerned with their rank and who's going to be named valedictorian and salutatorian.
The constant competition between rank and GPA are taking over school. Matt Pajak has more.
I think academic pressure is serious. I think there's definitely a competitive atmosphere that we're in, and it can be overwhelming for me and a lot of other students.
The competitive atmosphere here at Centennial has recently become very intense. We talked to some of our AP students to figure out how they deal with the pressure.
What do you think about, specifically at Centennial, do you think intense core classes or elective courses are more rewarding here?
Well, for a while I thought AP courses, but as I've gone through the course of high school, I think that if you have a specific area of study that you're interested in, I think it would benefit you more to take the electives that align with your areas of interest.
I did 2 maths this year, I did 2 sciences my sophomore year. Doing so kind of made it more rewarding because I felt like I learned more. But at the end of the day, I do wish I would have taken more, because at Centennial, and especially with the Cate Center and FISD, we have a lot more options with electives, and I feel like I didn't take full advantage of that.
Probably elective classes, because you get to know those are what you're interested in, so you're going to be more focused on that, I guess, and you're going to actually enjoy it. So you have a motivation to do better in it.
Do you ever feel like you were overextending yourself by taking all core classes?
Yeah, definitely my junior year I felt really stressed out, and then especially this year, because I'm in about 7 AP classes this year, it's really strenuous on my time trying to manage and study for all of them and make sure I get good grades in most of them.
I guess if you know how to manage your time wisely, then it's fine.
Does having good grades make you feel better in your day-to-day life, or is there really a disconnect in your time out of school?
It's really a disconnect for me, because I don't need my happiness outside of school to depend on how I do in school. I really try to separate those two.
Because it's my stuff, it's what I earn. It's if I should either embrace it or so it's my stuff. I can't be mad if I do bad or good, I guess.
With Cen10 News, I'm Matthew Pajak.
In addition to the competition, many wonder if the classes they take pad their GPA are necessary.
Core classes specifically are the main classes in question. Justin Sulak has the details.
Many students face tremendous amounts of stress as they walk through their academic journey, especially in their junior and senior year. But could this stress be avoidable? I interviewed some teachers and students to see whether or not core classes are really necessary as it pertains to a student's college career.
So I think the classes you take in high school, I think what they're designed to do is give you a well-rounded education. So do you absolutely have to have U.S. history? Probably not. But I think to make a well-rounded individual, I think it helps. Same thing with, it's good to know, a squared plus b squared equals c squared, just because it makes you a smarter person.
The unnecessary things still should be considered necessary, because as you go from day to day, just endeavors and tasks, there are little things that you should know, whether that be in math or science or just history. It's good to know the simple facts, because if you do decide to, do tutoring on the side or have kids or something, it's good to have that knowledge.
Outside of a math classroom, I'm not sure that they're going to use their algebra skills in everyday life. For example, I don't think that graphing rational equations, that's something that you do hanging out with your friends.
It's good to kind of have a basis of understanding of chemistry and physics, but you don't necessarily need to take upper AP level history classes or math or science classes.
Teaching to the test, I feel like, is teaching to the end of course test. Yeah, I think that happens throughout the school system because there's a lot of pressure that's put on teachers. We do have benchmarks, and so we do plan backwards. So we go look at the test and say, okay, in this section we need to make sure we hit this, this, and this, or these keywords, because we know that you're going to see it on a benchmark.
Oh, absolutely. I feel like teachers teach to the test. There are some teachers that do a really good job at not teaching towards the test, but I think a bunch of our teachers, if you don't get it, they just move on.
My response is, well, what do you teach to? I mean, do you just teach to teach? I mean, in a perfect world, grades don't matter, but I've got to make sure that whatever I'm teaching, that there's some way of finding out, did the kids get it? There are certain aspects of it that we're supposed to make sure, okay, the students have to know this before they leave my class, and I think if I'm teaching that, I should test on it. I don't want to say college is the real world, but it's a little more real than high school in the fact that most professors give you one chance. Sorry, you didn't turn in your homework, that's a 0. Yeah, but no, it's a 0. But I missed the last 3 classes, I didn't know about the quiz. Well, there was the syllabus. And I think the real big disservice we do to students is we don't emphasize, you got to get your test right the first time. You don't get to retest in college.
While classes are stressful and our main focus, social media has also taken over our lives.
Caroline Carrillo explains how social media harms our relationship and blinds us from the rest of the world.
Many of us have had the opportunity of growing up with social media, but what was life like before such a thing as Snapchat? I've interviewed teachers to show the differences that social media has had on society.
The one that has impacted me the most is the relationship among the kids. Like, I feel like sometimes before we start the class, and I walk in the classroom, and if they're all in their phones, it's completely silent. Which before, you had 30 students in a classroom, it was loud. And now it's quiet because they're all on their phones. So that's a huge difference, even in the past few years. I've seen that. Actually, I know some people who maybe pretend to be a certain way on social media, and I really know them, and they're not really that exciting or that amazing, or they're not really doing all the stuff they're always showing on the picture, or maybe they're not that happy. I think that's the difference in the generation. Like, I feel like with us, we still say, hey, come over, let's hang out, or let's go out to dinner, and we'll talk. But I feel that as a mom of a teenager, I've seen that they might have a sleepover, the girls, and they're all together, but they're all on their phones, even though they're supposed to be hanging out together. Well, what I feel is that it's not that social media is wrong or technology is wrong. It's not that. It's that too much of one thing is wrong. We have to learn how to balance everything. It's okay to have social media. It's okay to check your phone, but you have to balance it. It's also okay to put it away and have a normal conversation and some interaction and go out and not use any technology.
How would I feel if you were a student on your phone? I would feel that A, you don't really need to hear what I say. You think you don't need to. You do need to hear what I say. You don't want to. You're not giving me importance. If you can't put it down for just a few minutes, then obviously I'm not as important as what's going on. I don't know. Your heart's going to stop one day. You're going to die. We all do. But God made us to live forever. And I think that's why we all feel like there is something more. And so I think social media has the potential to live up to that something more. But we're using it as, I guess we're trying to fill that void with celebrities and makeup tutorials and, instead of things that really could be impacting others.
Adversity is something that many face on a day-to-day basis. It impacts how we see the world and how our future is shaped.
Sorna Tagizadeh showcases how overcoming adversity has led to one student to follow her dreams.
Adversity comes in many different shapes and sizes. One student at our school used her adversity to shape her future and motivate her.
Some of the adversities that I have faced started whenever I was in 7th grade. I was in gym class and there was an accident and I ended up going head first into the concrete wall. I suffered a head injury, which meant that I had bleeding in my skull. Eventually, after I was lucky enough to recover from that surgery, I developed epilepsy, which means that I get chronic seizures that are controlled by medicine. I knew that I wanted to do law when I was really searching to find my voice again after my injury and my new circumstances. I took many classes and I became very, very interested in the law field as a whole. I felt like I could be the voice for people who felt voiceless. Interning at a law firm is a really great experience because not only am I able to see what it would be like to be an attorney by being inside that law environment, I also get to work with some really amazing attorneys and people in the law profession. I have really pushed myself to stay motivated by not allowing myself to think about the things that I can't change and just think about the things that I can change, such as I can't change what I have, why I have it, but I can change what I do about it, and that is pushing myself to become the best person I can be because I got the chance to overcome it. My adversity has impacted my goals by really showing me that not every day is promised. I never know what's going to happen day to day, so I have to live every single day as if it is my last and live it to my fullest, always reaching for my fullest potential. I have overcome the struggles of epilepsy by really letting it become a motivation for me and not letting myself become defined by the obstacles I face.
With Cen10 News, this has been Sorna Takizadeh.
As summer approaches, many find themselves glued to their Xboxes and PS4s.
Where are we dropping, boys?
Competitive gaming, also known as eSports, is a growing industry that fills stadiums to watch teams go head-to-head in different video games. But how big can eSports really be? Esports isn't just one video game being played in a stadium like basketball or football, but it's multiple different games being played such as Overwatch, League of Legends, Counter-Strike Global Offensive, and Super Smash Bros. Each game is different in its own way, but brings in the same entertainment value to the consumer and spectators. Esports aren't always games played in large stadiums. They could also be more closed competitions, such as speedrunning, and in-game competitive scenes. Websites, such as Twitch, host many gamers live streaming themselves, speedrunning certain games using tactics and glitches to complete a game in the shortest amount of time possible. They also host players who play games like Overwatch and Counter-Strike that give people the option to play their games competitively, putting their skills to the test against other players to see if they have the chance to make it to the top of the leaderboard. Esports is still a growing industry in the US. In countries like South Korea, esports is considered a national pastime, bringing in millions of dollars and giving contestants a chance to win $1 million prize pools in competitions. Companies have realized the success of these competitions and began to sponsor teams in their tournaments. Many big-name brands have already started to sponsor them, such as Coca-Cola, Red Bull, and Audi. Business Insider stated, more sponsors and investors will flow into the industry, which will create a booming opportunity for all players involved. As esports continues to grow, it's beginning to catch up to many major sports with their different tournaments. Esports have already surpassed games like the NBA Finals, and it's only a matter of time before it begins catching up to the NFL, and they begin to compete against each other for viewership.
A favorite appetizer among many is chips and queso.
In order to get into the Cinco de Mayo spirit, some reporters attempt to find the best local queso.
So in honor of Cinco de Mayo, that is tomorrow, today we're trying all the different types of queso from different Mexican restaurants around here, and we're going to rate each one. The first one is On the Border.
Okay.
So what'd y'all think?
I mean,
Yeah, it's like
Velveeta.
Yeah, it's not, it doesn't
It's
seem
like,
very,
hey.
Velveeta-ish, yeah.
Okay. Do you guys want to rate it like a number? Like out of 5?
I'd say like
out of 5. Like a 2
2 or 3,
2 or 3.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Alright, the next one is Fuzzies. Same thing, just
It's
eh.
the other one was
No.
better than that.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
This one's like
true.
more of like a white queso though, so it's kind of different, but
It's like
Yeah.
very intellectual about
it's very
queso.
cheesy.
Yeah, it didn't have any like things in it.
I know. What a very intellectual comment.
Well, it's not as like spicy. That's what I meant.
Oh, okay.
It's more cheese and spice.
Got you. All right.
So what do you guys want to do?
Like a
1.5, 2.
1.7.
1.7 out of 5.
Okay.
Solid.
Okay. The next one is El Hacienda. That was pretty good.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm really
Yeah.
partial to Oaxaca queso.
It tastes really good.
Yeah. Rating.
It's like a 4.
Yeah,
4.
4 out of
4 or
5.
5.
Okay.
I didn't taste my favorite.
Which one is it?
That one.
Oh.
Yeah. The next one's Taco Bueno, right down the street.
I'm not gonna lie, it's not bad.
Yeah, it's actually pretty similar to El Hacienda. Like,
I don't think it tastes that good. It tastes more like the first one we had.
Really?
really? It tastes a lot more
Oh,
like
you're
El
like, well,
Hacienda
It
than
looks just like it.
It's just like not as thick. No, see that one's darker.
Mm-hmm.
But like that's true. Like 3. Yeah, 3.
3, yeah.
Okay.
Nice. And the last one's posadas. We'll pass this one.
He gave me grief, but it's really good.
This is my personal favorite.
Oh, I do like it. Sorry. I said I didn't like it, but everyone likes it, so I like it too.
I was wrong.
I still think that one's better.
Yeah, this one's the best, but
Well, it's like a 4.
yeah.
I'll give that one a 4.5.
Yeah, 4.5
And this is a
and
4.
Yeah.
Also, special thanks to Miss Compton for letting us use her room.
Hey Titans, this is Reggie Abuweed with your Cen10 Sports Update. Our Lady Titans varsity softball team is coming off a good week, crushing Heritage 14-4 on April 20th, yet losing to them last Monday 7-3. In addition to softball racking up wins, our boys varsity baseball team beat the Independence Knights 6-3 on April 20th, and the Heritage Coyotes 16-5 last Tuesday, and again 7-3 last Friday. In tennis-related news, Sam Straub and Ashley Allen finished in second place in mixed doubles at regionals on Thursday the 19th and qualified for the UIL State Tennis Tournament. Both players performed incredibly well under pressure and represented Centennial with class. Only approximately 2% of the kids who compete in high school's tennis qualify for the state tourney each year. So congratulations to both athletes.
And that's all for this week's show, Titans.
Be sure to check out our website at www.cen10news.com and follow us on Twitter at Cen10news.
Have a great weekend, Titans.